This is Geography for Grade 10, produced by Tigray Education Bureau, transmitted by Dimtsi Weyane Tigray National and FM radio satellites and social media, and also FM Maqala 104.4.
Hello students, this is Geography lesson for Grade 10. Welcome students, it is second session. Students, do you remember our previous discussion? Very good, you remember it. We have discussed about definition of ecosystem, factors that affecting distribution of ecosystem, diversity of fauna, flora, soil of ecosystem, and the 6 large ecosystem or biomes and their characteristics. Dear students, have you done your homework that I gave you last week? Review exercise of Unit 2, matching and multiple choice? That's good. Today, we are going to see a new topic. That's Unit 3, World Population. Subtopic is size and trend of world population growth. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to compare population size of the world on continental basis, identify 3 leading populous countries in Africa, compare the population trend between Africa and Europe. Students, why was the growth of world population very slow in the early periods, and what was the reason become rapidly grow later? Since 5000 BC, the growth of world population was not steady but was marked by great fluctuation dictated by climate, food supply, disease and war. From the 17th century onwards, due to advancement in science and technology, world population started to grow rapidly. Because of declining costs of the medicine, high-yield varieties of seeds, improvement of transport facilities, great decline of deaths, the world population grew to reach 3.04 billion. By 1960, it was estimated that world population reached 6 billion with an annual growth rate of 1.5% per year by 2080. Such rapid growth of population is termed as population explosion. Dear students, how do you explain and calculate population doubling time? It is good. Population doubling time is the time taken in years for a population of a given region or country to double at a given rate of population growth. It can be calculated with using the following formula. Doubling time is equal to 70 over growth rates. Population growth rate determines the time required for a population to double. The lower the growth rate, the longer time, and the higher the growth rate, the shorter is the doubling time. Dear students, please look at your book on page 127, table 3.2. As shown in this table, Europe and Africa have shown very contrasting doubling time. The doubling time of Europe is 304 years. It is very slow growth rate, which is 0.23%, whereas Africa's population doubling time is 27 years. This implies that Africa has the fastest population growth rate in the world, almost increase 2.59 per year. Dear students, identify the 3 most populous countries of each continent. Have you got the answer? That's good. Please check your answer with this, based on your book, page 127, table 3.3. The most populous countries in Asia are China, India, Indonesia, In Europe, Germany, United Kingdom, Italy. In North America, USA, Mexico, Canada. In Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and in Africa, Nigeria, Egypt, Ethiopia. Generally, as of 2000, 1.2 billion people lived in developed countries of the world, and 4.9 billion people lived in the less developed countries. This has shown as 80% of the world population live at subsistence levels and limited medical resource countries. Dear students, have you got the idea about the difference between developed and developing nations concerning growth rate of population? Good. Now, students, try to give answer for the following questions. Number 1. Why do you think that Africa experiences the shortest traveling time in the world? Students, have you got the answer? Good. Africa experienced the shortest traveling time due to the highest growth rate of its population. Second question. What are the consequences of rapid population growth in Africa? What measures do you suggest to correct the situation? Students, I hope you did well. Let's compare your answer with this. The consequences of rapid population are environmental degradation, resource degradations, housing problems, accelerated soil erosion, desertification, etc. And the corrective measure may include application of family planning, awareness creation or education, empowering of women, wise use of resource and others. Students, let's proceed to the next topic, component of population change. At the end of this lesson, I expect from you to list the component of population change, to explain each component of population change. Dear students, do you have hints about components of population change from previous grades? Good students. The components of population change are 3, called fertility, mortality, and migration. Fertility, mortality, and migration are collectively known as population change dynamics or population change determinants. Fertility and mortality are biological factors, while migration is purely non-biological. So, the population size of a particular area is the result of collective effect of these 3 components. Students, let's see the components of population change one by one. The first one is fertility. What is fertility? Fertility refers to the actual reproductive performance of population. It is the actual occurrence of live births in a given population. And also, it is a beginning of life. Students, the growth of world population depends largely on human fertility. Fertility is a force of expansion of population by counteracting the force of attrition caused by mortality. Students, how can the fertility of a society be measured? Fertility can be measured using different methods, but the most common are crude birth rate, CBR, general fertility rates, GFR, total fertility rate, TFR. Students, let's listen fertility measures detail. 1. Crude birth rate, or CBR, is simply the number of live births observed in 1 year among thousands of people in a given region. It is the most common and simplest index of fertility. It is calculated by using the formula of crude birth rate is equals to B over P times K, where B is the total number of live births during a year, P is mid-year total population, and K is a constant, conventionally 1000. For example, if the number of live births in a population of 1 million was 200,000, the crude birth rate can be calculated as CBR is equal to P over P times K is equal to CBR 200,000 over 1 million times 1000 is equals to 200 over 1000. This shows that the births of 200 babies were observed for every 1000 people of that year. 2. General fertility rate, or GFR, is the number of live births in a year per thousand women of reproductive age 15 to 49. It is the easiest method of refining the weakness of CBR by replacing women of reproductive age 15 to 49 rather than total population. It is calculated as GFR is equals to B over P times K, where B stands for live births, P stands for women aged 15-49, K is constant or conventionally 1000. Dear students, please take out your book, page 132, and listen how to calculate the examples. Example: the estimated mid-year population of a given country in 2000 was 50 million, of which women in their reproductive ages constituted 1/5 of the total population. In the course of time, there were 500,000 live births. Calculate the general fertility rate of this population. Students, number of live births is given 500,000. Women aged 15 to 49 was 1 over 5 times 50 million is equals to 10 million. So, GFR is equals to 500,000 over 10 million times 1000 is equals to 50 over 1000. This shows that 50 children were born for every 1000 women in their reproductive years. The limitation of GFR is that it does not account for differences in age group fertility rate. 3. Total fertility rate, TFR, is the average number of children that would be born alive to a woman during her lifetime if she were to pass through all her children-bearing years. It is generally known as an effective summary rate for describing the frequency of childbearing in a year. Students, I hope you have understood it. Let's see some factors that affect fertility, like A. Age at marriage. Early marriage results in more children because the girl will be exposed to sex for a long period. Her reproductive years 15 to 49. B. The status of women. It is a key determinant of fertility. An uneducated mother wants to have many children. To reduce fertility, women's status should be improved by giving them better opportunities for education, employment, decision-making, health, and nutrition. C. socio-cultural factors. These include religion, ethnicity, and family structure. Motivate to have many children births. D. Sex preference. It increases the number of children until we get the desired sex. Students, the second component of population change is mortality. Mortality is the occurrence of deaths. It is higher in developing countries than developed countries due to variation in standard of living, nutrition, medical service, personal hygiene, and environmental sanitation. Mortality is measured by crude death rate and infant mortality rate. Dear students, to sum up today's lesson, in the past, global population was very slow, but through time, especially after 1950s, due to large improvement in medication, transportation, and agriculture, the world population accelerated. Such rapid population growth is called population explosion. Doubling time is length of time needed by a population to be double itself. Developing countries' population growth is very fast. Changing in the size of the population is the result of the combination of effect of changes in fertility, mortality, and migration. Students, please read and do every exercise in your book from page 124 to 141. We will see next week. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.